Hey, what's up? If you're a web designer and you are stuck at the beginning or middle of your journey, this video is for you. I will break down the entire roadmap to go from $0 to $10,000 months. If you don't know me, I'm a web designer and I've been designing since 2004 and I'm actively working as a freelancer as well. Which is important because I'm not just teaching, I'm actively working as a successful designer and then teaching everything I learned along the way. All right, so before we start, there is something I want you to know. My teaching style is a little bit unconventional, but I think you will like it. Let's go. All right, so right now you are probably here, okay? So maybe you are making some money or maybe you are not making money or your income is not consistent and you feel stuck, okay? Even if you have a little bit of experience, I would suggest you to basically go back to the basics and learn properly. All right, so the first step after taking off is basically going from departure to foundations, okay? And here is where you learn the basics. And what I suggest you to do is to learn Figma first, all right? So you understand the basics of design and everything. And the next thing you have to learn is Framer or Webflow. And as a designer, I suggest you to learn Framer first. It's easier to understand. So once you learn Figma and Framer, you will be able to deliver a full stack design and development service. And how it goes is basically the client gives you the brief and the instructions and the preferences and everything. And then you go ahead and then design with Figma. And after that, you go and develop with Framer. So basically with these tools, you don't need a developer to deliver the full service. And I know that some people like to design and develop in Framer, which is fine. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, you can do it as well. Figma and Framer are very similar in terms of the interface. But the thing is, like, a lot of agencies still work and design in Figma first, and then after that they develop using like Webflow or Framer. So the thing is, like, it's good for you to understand how Figma works. And at the end of the day, if you understand Figma, designing and developing in Framer is easy because Figma's and Framer's interfaces are very similar. And what about Webflow? Webflow is an amazing tool. I love Webflow. I use it all the time. The only thing is that for beginners, it's a little bit more complicated to understand than Framer. And as I said, Framer's interface looks very similar to Figma's, right? But Webflow is different. They have some similarities, but it's way different. And these tools are very funny because Figma is trying to destroy Framer, and then Framer is trying to destroy Figma. And then Framer is trying to also destroy Webflow. But then Webflow is basically sticking to its own lane, which is no code development for now. If you are wondering where you can learn Figma and Framer, you can do so by going through my free web design course. It's already available on YouTube and it has 181,000 views already and 10,000 likes, okay? And as you can see, people love it in the comments, right? And here you can see the timestamps. And here you can see how basically I go through everything that you need to know about Figma and also Framer here in module 10. So basically in module 10, I show you how to design and develop a portfolio website with Framer. This course is almost 18 hours and you can find everything you need to know about web design. I will leave a link in the description. If you want to learn Webflow, I suggest you to go through Webflow University, which is totally free, all right? It's a course made by Webflow. And yeah, I will also leave a link in the description so you can access. All right, so the next step is to go from foundations to niche selection, but not so easy because here is where a lot of people mess up. They see the shiny objects through space, right? And they just orbit right here and they stay here saying, okay, so today I'm going to do trading and today I'm going to do drop shipping and now I'm going to try AI automations and now I'm going to try, I don't know, copywriting or something else, right? And they never advance. And this is dangerous because these are distractions. The thing is, like, I'm not saying that these things don't work. I don't know. But the thing is, like, you have to really focus on one thing. If you want to become a freelance web designer, stick to the plan and you will be surprised how far you go. So after foundations is niche selection and research. And remember, don't get distracted by the shiny objects. And this part is very important because at the end of the day, if you don't have a niche and you don't have a clear positioning statement, it's going to be very difficult for you to get high paying clients. And here is a mistake a lot of beginners make. They think that the more markets they target, the easier it's going to be for them to land projects. And that sounds logical, but it's not how it works. Because if your messaging is all over the place and you don't have a clear target market, it's going to be very difficult for you. Here on my channel, I also have this video where I talk about niche selection. I go through the best and worst niches. And also I explain why selecting one niche is super important. Selecting and sticking to one niche. So you can check it out. I will leave a link in the description. So once you have a niche in mind, you have to basically do some research. You have to basically visit some communities where you can find people in that niche and talk to them to understand their pain points and what they need, because you have to understand what problems they have and offer a solution. And the best way to understand a market is to go and talk to people in that market. It's a classic business principle. You go, talk to the people, gather information, and take action. So the next step after selecting a niche is to create concept projects. If you're a beginner and you don't have real work, or maybe you've been designing for years but your work is not that good, you have to work on concept projects, because that's the best way to show your skills and design style to potential clients. And here is where a lot of people give up, okay? Because they realize that basically it takes work to become successful, right? And when they start doing the concept projects and everything, that's when they say, this is too much work for me. I prefer to go to my 9 to 5. That's what I call a barrier of entry, because at the end of the day, the education is free. You can learn, you can go through my channel and learn everything you need to know. But the thing is, like, you have to pay attention. And you have to work. And a lot of people are lazy. They don't want to work. So the people that do are the people that become successful. And to go from concept project building to have a portfolio that you can basically share with potential clients, you will face a lot of challenges. But that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be easy, right? Anything worthwhile isn't going to be easy. Especially in business, that's how it works. That's why a lot of people give up and only a few people at the top, right, making a lot of money. Why? Because most people, as I said, when they feel a little bit of resistance, they just give up. Trying to become successful on your own is like playing life on hard mode. It's better to take a shortcut. That's why I created the Elite Group, a group mentorship program designed to help serious web designers level up their skills, land high-paying clients, and build a stable freelance career without all the struggle. As you can see, we've had some amazing results. Juan started as a beginner and is already charging 6K for a single project. Queen was a little bit hesitant to join, but after she did, she landed a 4K project and said that joining was one of the best decisions of her life. And then we have Anne. She just secured a long-term contract with an agency whose team has worked with big companies like Disney and Walmart. These are real people that you can talk to and find inside of the community. The Elite Group is not for everyone. It's for beginners, advanced designers, and people switching careers who are serious and ready to have skin in the game. If you are curious about joining, just go to wdcelite.com or click the link in the description. Now that you know about the Elite Group, let's continue with this. You have to learn, navigate all these challenges, build 3 to 4 concept projects, and then build your portfolio. And building a good portfolio is very important. It's basically the first impression that recruiters, creative agencies, and businesses in your niche will have when you reach out to them, okay? So it's very important. But you don't have to overcomplicate things. Your portfolio should be simple, and then your concept project should do all the talking. That being said, simple doesn't mean sketchy, okay? It should look good, but you shouldn't try to overcomplicate or do anything crazy. The next step is outreach. And here is where a lot of people freeze, basically, because they are scared of reaching out to people. They think that the people right here are aliens or something. And here is where a lot of people give up as well, because they start reaching out to people after they finish their portfolio and everything, and then they get a few rejections and they basically give up. They say, oh, this is not for me, this is crazy, these people is rejecting me. And they are people, they are not aliens, and some people will reject you. That's the nature of of business, basically, of life, right? And you have to face your fears and reach out to people. You will have more opportunities this way, and also you will expand your network, and it will make you more resourceful, because at the end of the day, when you know how to do outreach, you won't have to depend on businesses finding you, okay? And that's why outreach is one of the best ways to get clients for beginners and for people that don't have a strong social media presence. And of course, as always, you have a free course on my channel that talks about everything you need to know about outreach. And I recently uploaded this. It has only 3,000 views. And this course alone is worth thousands of dollars. And there you have it for free. So make sure to check it out. So after you say hi to the aliens and figure out how outreach works, the next step is automation. In the course that I shared with you, I teach how to automate your outreach efforts, because you don't want to keep doing outreach manually forever, right? You want to automate at least part of it. But as I say, I explain all that in the course. When you reach this point, that's when you will start really making money, okay? And then the next step is basically to scale your operations. All right. And here is basically when you build an agency or a team, because at the end of the day, you are trading your time for money, right? and you have to make sure that you can detach yourself a little bit from the business. And I have a video that talks about this, how to basically become financially free as a web designer. This is the video, it's on my channel, and I will leave all the links in the description, okay? And this video is very interesting because a lot of people don't understand how they can basically get to a point where they can retire as a web designer, okay? So I'll walk you through all the different paths. That's it. If you found this content valuable, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment, all right? Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.